friends, welcome back to our channel. We are the Pride Pack. So today we are going to be talking about the home buying process. This is mainly going to be about new construction builds, since that is what we are doing, but it will be applicable to if you're doing a pre-built home. The first step you want to do is get pre-approved for a loan. So you can get just pre-qualified, and most things will let you do that online really quick, but you want to get the full pre-approval because it means that they've ran your credit and your full background, and this is what the home builder is going to make you do anyway. So yeah, you want to do that, and that pre-approval basically tells you and the lender how much you can afford. So they're going to ask you for your work history, your bank statements, your income, or any additional income. They're going to ask you about how you're getting your down payment, or how you're going to do your down payment. And one thing they always kept asking is if we're going to receive gift monies.
We can't get gift money.
Yeah, so gift money is basically when, if you've got a rich uncle who just wants to pay for some reason your full down payment,
which is awesome, of
$20,000. If you have that,
go for it.
We do not have that. We don't have gift money. So we are actually using a home buyer's down payment assistance program. Most states have something like this. It might be for first time home buyers or something like that.
In Nevada, we have Home at Last and Home is Possible. And we're trying to use either one of those currently.
Yeah, so that's what we'll be using, and it basically just pays, your 20% down payment. But one thing that we didn't really understand was that no matter what, you still are going to be coming out of pocket for a lot of different things.
There's going to be closing costs that can be anywhere between $4,000 to about $20,000. It really depends. Sometimes the seller helps with them. Sometimes you have to pay them all on your own. Sometimes your deposits along the way will contribute toward them, and sometimes it won't. So if you have $15,000 and that's all you have saved up, you need to be aware that you can't throw that all toward your down payment.
Yeah. The next thing you want to do is pick a realtor. I'm telling you, pick that realtor.
Even for new construction, don't try to do it on your own.
Do not try to do it on your own. You need somebody who is going to fight for you, who understands the process, especially if you are a first-time home buyer like we are, because you're going to have so many questions, so many documents coming, so many things that they're going to tell you should sign, and you're like, this looks kind of weird. I'm not sure if I should sign that. You're going to want that realtor.
Someone put it to us that when you're going through the home buying process, even with a new build, they might have their own people who can help you, but they have X number of people, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on their side and their company who are trying to sell you. You need at least one person on your side, especially even if you yourself are a realtor. It's good to have another one with you to ensure that there's someone else there. It's already a stressful enough time. You're trying to keep everything in order. You want to have someone else fighting for you.
And the reason why it's so important to pick a realtor before you go looking at homes is because most new construction builders have this clause that they will not let you know. They're not going to tell you, but they've got this clause that if you come into your new construction or into their sales office, the first thing that they do is they make you sign this little form and a little slip saying just your name and your email and stuff so that they can send you information later.
They don't tell you what it's for. It's not for that.
It's not really for that. I mean, it kind of is.
They'll send you stuff.
Yeah, they will send you stuff, but you have to claim your realtor on that form. If you do not claim your realtor on the form, you basically waive the option to have a realtor if you go with that place. So we learned this the hard way. So we showed up, or we were just going and looking around, just thinking, oh, we're just gonna scout out some places and see if new construction is really what we wanna do. It was helpful because we found out, yeah, we could actually afford the homes, but we found a construction site that we really loved. yeah, we had gone to the construction site without a realtor yet and toured it and signed the paper and everything. And then come to find out that we would not be able to buy in that community using a realtor. We could have gone and done it by ourselves, but we would not have been able to use a realtor since they were not registered.
And the reason that they do that is because if you come in on your own without a realtor, they assume that you on your own found that place. You're not being recommended by any realtor. So when the realtor sets you up and they go through this whole process, they won't receive commission from the seller. Usually a realtor, when you're buying new construction, gets paid by the seller. So whether it be, again, American West, KB Homes, whatever you're going with, the seller is the one who ends up paying the realtor as a way of saying, thank you for bringing this person to us and helping them through this process and buying our home. But if you're going on your own, they assume that you did not need a realtor to get there. You were making that choice on your own.
You can pick a realtor, and then the realtor doesn't necessarily have to be at the site with you. You can just write down the name of the realtor, and that will count as well.
Or if you're really even not that far, just go in there, and if they ask you to sign something, say, you know, I'm really not comfortable with that. And if they don't let you see the place, they don't let you. But it's better to go in with a realtor, someone's name, just to put down.
Yeah. So then now you've got your realtor, you've been pre-approved. Now you are ready to look at homes, really get into it. So, what I suggest is that you go first, look yourself online and just see what type of home do you want. A big backyard, is that your priority? Or are you looking for a house that already includes almost everything in the base of the house, or like in that base package? Or are you okay with doing something that doesn't include very many upgrades and then you choose the upgrades yourself, you know?
Sometimes you won't be able to find all of that online, but you can at least get some sort of head start.
Yeah, get a head start, see which communities you like, what sides of town that you like. So for those of you who are looking here in the Las Vegas area, just to give you a little bit of a lowdown on the homes, which we will put some maps up so we can show you the different areas of town. You can stay in Summerlin. So Summerlin is...
It's one of our nicer parts of town.
Yeah, it's a nice part of town, more upscale, more family, like really family-oriented, suburban. They've got great amenities there. They've got downtown Summerlin, which is a nice shopping mall. They've got Red Rock, which is a beautiful national park, forest area, or mountain area that's got great hiking. Red Rock is in Summerlin area. There's it's a beautiful area of town, and it's the wealthy area of town.
Then our other nice part of town would be Henderson. That's actually a different city than Las Vegas technically, but we still consider it part of Vegas. Henderson has, it's another nice part of town.
Green Valley Ranch. It's got
It's got nice homes.
Nice schools out there. Yeah. That's a really good school district area, which is hard to come by in Vegas because we are not known for our good schooling here. So, Henderson is a great area for schools.
Also, some of the homes over there tend to be a little bit cheaper for such a nice area than some.
A little bit of a step down, but not by much. You've got like the Centennial Hills area. That's like northwest of town. That's really pretty. Like I said, a slight step below the other two areas kind of, but still really nice. It does feel a little bit more removed from some of the other parts of the city. So that's something to think about. But again, they've got some decent schools out there. They've got some good walking trails out there. They're pretty known for those. So that's a great area. Centennial Hills would be the closest to like Mount Charleston. If that's important to you, you could live on the edge of Centennial Hills kind of, and that'll put you pretty close to Mount Charleston. And then some of the other areas of Las Vegas would be, and these are some of the really up and coming neighborhoods, would be Mountain's Edge. Mountain's Edge is kind of towards where we are going, which is in the southwest area.
It's like in between Summerlin and Henderson.
Yeah, so It's got a lot of, it's on the mountain. It's like very close to the mountain. So it's got some very nice views if that's what you're looking for. Again, very suburban, nice parks out there, nice trails. Then you've got Southern Highlands, another very up and coming area. Lots of new construction out there. Again, very family oriented. It is, again, a little far, like it's going past the strip. He goes down past the strip towards the other side of Henderson. So that's a great area. And then some of the areas, they're okay, but that's not what people are typically aspiring to be at. Would be North Las Vegas area, which is where we are now. It's more industrial, lots of trucks, semi-trucks all down here, warehouses. You could live in East Las Vegas, which is where there's a lot of low income houses out there. It's also where a lot of the homeless population is because the food banks are in that area. So that's where a lot of the homeless space is concentrated. And then there is just like Central Las Vegas, Enterprise area, and that's kind of where the strip is sort of located, is in that little surrounding area. So once you have chosen your house, your community, and you are ready to build, now you are going to get into the paperwork.
The paperwork is one of the most final parts already at the very beginning. At this point, you're choosing essentially where you want your lot to be. At least that was our process first. Some places you might be choosing it later on after you choose, but we chose our build type and our lot and our elevation. So essentially your build type is 1-story, 2-story house, what sort of build you're doing. That's just your overall layout of the house.
Your
no
floor
upgrades.
plan,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then you're gonna do your plot. Sorry, what's it called?
Your lot.
You're gonna do your lot. The lot is essentially, some places, all lots are gonna be the same. So you might skip this step completely. Some of them, every lot might be blank feet by blank feet. But with us, when we were choosing, there was different yard sizes. And this is just essentially your plot of land, where your yard's gonna be. It's gonna determine where you sit in the general community. You might be right next to, if you're in a gated community, you might be right next to the gate. You might be at the very back end. You might be on a corner. You might have 3 neighbors. You might have 1 neighbor. This is where you're paying for that. And then you're gonna be choosing your elevation. Your elevation, at least for us, is basically what the front of the house looks like, and the sides and the paint color and such. All 3 of these things for us were final. So once you do the paperwork, and then they'll choose the lot and you choose the elevation, all of those are completely final. You cannot change that no matter what. Of course, there are heavy fees associated with different lots, and there's also heavy fees associated with different elevations.
Yeah, so you've got a lot premium. That is what they call what you're gonna pay for your lot. So if it's a normal size, what they considered a standard lot, you would pay possibly $0 for your lot premium. If you went with the lot that is 10 feet deeper and it's on the corner, maybe you would pay $5,000. You know, so they've got their own little.
And this can go up to $30,000.
Yeah,
honestly,
it could be whatever it is.
You can get the biggest backyard possible, and you might pay $30,000 lot premium. So if you're going in there with the expectation of this home that I really want is already at the top of my budget, no upgrades whatsoever, you're gonna have to take into consideration you not only need to pay for your upgrades, which you're going to see in the model, of course, but this lot premium can be very heavy.
You don't pay that entire premium.
Yeah.
You pay a percentage of it. So I think it was 20% of the lot premium was
Something
what
like that, 10 or
we
20.
had to pay as the deposit. And it makes sense because basically they're making you pay. Like they don't want to start building this house and put all of this stuff into it, all of these things that you are choosing, and then you decide, I don't really care about this house anymore, I don't want to do it, and you just leave. You know, this is just sort of your commitment. You know, this is your commitment.
If you drop out, that lot will be re-released, but you will not get your deposit back for the most part. This is going to be your first down payment deposit that you're going to be doing.
Okay, so now that you have signed your contract and you are ready to go, now the real work is going to start. So you are going to go to the design studio or whatever is your equivalent. But basically, this is where you go to pick out all of the options that you want. So you're going to be able to choose
Flooring,
your
cabinets.
your countertops.
Depending on how customizable your builder is. You can also choose, in our case, the height of the home. Do you want to have it with 8-foot ceilings or 9-foot ceilings? Again, that's going to change how your home is built. These are the core changes.
You could choose to have dual sinks in your house, in your bathroom, or just one sink, or maybe one sink with a vanity. You could choose to have
What kind of shower?
what type of shower do you want? You want a tower or a shower with a tub? Do you want just an enlarged shower? Do you want a shower with a deluxe tub? You could choose all of those things. So
And keep in mind that all of these either are going to be additional costs, or sometimes they're forced additional costs no matter what you choose. Because you have to choose, for example, if you didn't get the most basic kitchen possible, you had to get say a gourmet kitchen.
yeah, so let's say you chose to do their gourmet kitchen option, which basically meant that instead of like a stove oven combo, you would get just the stove top like grill thing by itself, and then you could choose, and then you'd have a double oven or like a microwave oven double oven thing.
And if you did that, no matter what, you had to get their appliances with it. So that's a forced cost on top of
there
layout.
was like some things, if you chose that option, that you had to do with them. You had to put some sort of hood above the oven. That was a cost that you had to do. You could have done the most basic one of those, or you could have chosen the chimney hood, but there was still, you had to do something that was going to be an additional cost with something like that.
So after you do your main upgrades, you're going to go into the semantics, the small things we were talking about. Do you want round sinks, square sinks? What kind of color palette are you looking for? What's the paint going to be like?
What type of railing do you want for your stairs?
You want to go into it with the mindset of, I can upgrade specific things myself. I don't need to get it through them, because I promise you they're going to upcharge on a lot of things. Not everything. Some things it's not worth doing yourself, but a lot of things are going to charge extra for.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you want to try to prepare yourself. So one of the things that KB allows you to do, because we are having a KB home, is you are allowed to just go stop into the design studio and just look around. There's not going to be someone to like do a consultation with or anything like that. You need an appointment, but you can just stop by the design studio and just look around at their options. So when you come in for your actual appointment to choose your options, you already kind of know what to look for or what you liked.
But keep in mind that even though their stuff might be a reasonable price compared to doing it yourself. For example, we didn't want to install handles into every cabinet ourselves. We could do it, it's not too hard, but we just felt it wasn't worth the time for such a little savings.
Yeah. Or the risk of the countertop, or your cabinets. We spend so much money on getting these nice gray counters. You don't want to.
But going in, maybe they have sinks that of all the options, you hate every one of their sinks. Then don't get their upgraded sinks. You can go with the most basic sink and replace it later, because they're only going to have 3, 4, 5 options maybe, and they might be comparable, but if you don't like any of them, don't feel forced to get any of them. You can go with the most basic option and change it later.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that a lot of people decide to do themselves is actually the flooring. So you could choose to go with their flooring,
which is beautiful.
They've got great options, so many options, and they'll do everything for you. It'll look really nice.
And day one, when you walk in, it'll look beautiful.
Yeah. But it's expensive. So for example, we want wood flooring through our entire house because we have carpet now and it sucks. So we were gonna do wood flooring, and that flooring was gonna cost $18,000 to do the flooring throughout the entire house with the wood.
And for the same pricing, doing it ourselves is going to come out to a little under $6,000.
Huge difference there.
Yeah. Is it worth your time? Is it worth the effort? Is it worth learning? Or if you're not going to install it yourself personally, you're going to need to pay someone to do it for you. And if you go to somewhere like Lumber Liquidators or
Home Depot or Lowe's, they're going to charge you an installation fee too. So you're still probably going to save some money going with them instead, but maybe you're only saving $5,000 or so. I don't want to say only saving, but you know,
it makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
But some people, it's not worth the time because then you can't move in. You can move in, but when you move in instantly, you're going to have a hard time positioning your stuff, and you're going to have to be working through a construction zone for a week or so. Depends how long you take.
So it's really just a balance of things. And so, you know, at least for us, we got 2 design studio appointments. So the first appointment is where you go in, you spend like 4 hours.
It was 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours going through this design studio, picking all of those options. And then they give you this huge packet of everything that you chose. And then you go home and you sit with whoever you're buying this house with and you go, okay, do we really need to get, you know, all of these things right now?
And keep in mind that your upgrades, there is a deposit on them. At least how we did it, there was a deposit with KP Homes. So it wasn't like we could say we have $70,000 of upgrades, which is high. We didn't have that. But if we did, you can't just throw that into your loan. If you had a really high amount of upgrades, you can't just throw that in your loan and forget about it. You need to have a deposit. I think the deposit was a bigger percentage than the lot on this one. So for example, when we came back, we would have, without changing anything, we would have had a deposit of over $10,000. So we need to get rid of a lot. And the flooring costing $18,000 makes a huge dent in that deposit that we need to bring. And they wanted us to bring it in like a week.
And again, this is to assure that you're not going to buy and have them build this expensive house and then decide that you don't want to live in it anymore, and then they're stuck trying to sell it, which they're probably not going to have a hard time selling it. Just an important thing to know is it's okay if you go a little bit overboard your first design studio appointment, because like I said, you're gonna get to go home only for a few days. You get like maybe a week to go home, but you do get to go home, look through that packet, go through each item and say, okay, we don't really need to do our chandelier right now. We don't need to buy their chandelier or their pendant lights, or we don't need to buy their sink faucets. We can just get the basic one right now and we'll go and upgrade it ourselves later on. So you go through, take out those options that you don't need and balance your budget. You know that this is how much you're approved for. Maybe you're not even comfortable with spending the amount that you're approved for. So just know this is the budget that we want to stick to and just play with it until it's at your budget.
So don't be afraid to cut back on the things you know you can replace easily. You want to get the stuff that is going to be hard to replace later.
Yeah, you're most likely not going to go and replace your entire kitchen cabinets afterwards. No. So that's a good place to focus on, or your countertops.
Or paint the entire place.
Yeah, or paint the entire house.
If you really want the house painted, pay for the extra on it. Or railing is another one.
Yeah,
once the railing is set, your railing is set. You want that to be done.
And then you're gonna get that final number, finalize that paperwork, pay your deposit on the options that you chose. They're going to send all of that stuff to your home builder, say this is everything that they chose. They're gonna, give their little paperwork. You're gonna sign more paperwork, and then they're going to send that to your loan officer, your lender, whoever you chose, so that they can see what you've chose and make sure that aligns with how much they're willing to give you. So
they might go a little bit over. If you're approved for $400,000, they might say, okay, $410,000 is not a big deal.
Yeah. So it really just depends. Yeah. Who knows? So you need them to officially approve the amount that you have chosen for your options. Once they've approved all of your upgrades, then we are going to start building. So you're going to meet with your your contractor, and he or she is going to walk you through a pre-construction meeting. It's really simple. Basically, they are again going to go over all the options that you chose, all the electrical things that you chose, because you can decide, to add extra plugs and things like that. Make sure everything is the way that you remember it being, and have you sign off on that, and then they are going to start building your house.
Okay, and then once they're building your house, you can start visiting. At least with us, some places might not let you just visit whenever you want. I'm sure most places will let you drive by, though. For example, we usually go on Sundays when they're not working on the home. We can drive by, look at it, take pictures, and you want to take pictures along the way of the progress. It's going to be wonderful to see it start from nothing, just a few trenches dug out for your plumbing, to what your home actually is. It's going to go up very quickly. So once they started, it's going to take the longest to get the base down, the concrete down. And once that's down and that's finalized, your home is going to go up really quickly. So you want to be sure to be checking back every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
It goes so fast. So there was a time when we went on a Thursday, and we were because we were just in the area. We went on a Thursday, and then we were like, oh, should we go on Sunday like usual? No, probably not. They won't have done anything.
Concrete or whatever.
No, man. We decided to go, and they had put up framing. So on Thursday, it was just dirt with the base and the plumbing. And then we came back 3 days later, and the entire framing was up for the house. Crazy fast. So
take a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
And some places will let you walk through.
Yeah, walk
as well.
through.
Just be careful. If you need to wear a hard hat or whatever.
Yeah.
Make sure to ask.
So one thing that a lot of people like to do when they do new construction is to write notes on the base and the framing of the home. Some people just do it as a message in case anybody finds it. A lot of religious people might like to leave a religious message or something to bless the home.
Or just date your name.
Your name, your date, so you're the originals. And so we did that. That was a really cool moment. That was really enjoyable. So try to do that if you can.
Try to do it somewhere that's kind of hidden and out the way, so that it doesn't get in the way of their building, or that they don't cover it with their own writing or something. If it's in the way, if it's somewhere very visible, they might just cover it up.
Yeah, because they write a lot on everything. Their plans and their designs, they write while they're building.
We did it by our door frame.
Yeah.
Somewhere out of the way.
Now you are just waiting. Again, keep checking back. And then finally, I would say, what was it?
4 months for us.
It was 4 months since we had started building.
I think so.
Yeah, about 4 months since we'd started building that we got called in to do a pre-drywall walkthrough.
And this time will vary depending on builder and how long they take.
So this means that they got in all the plumbing, all the electrical, all the framing, everything. Now they're ready to make it look like an actual house with walls and everything in it. So they're gonna make you or have you walk through and make sure that everything looks right, that all the plugs that you wanted are in there. And yeah, this is a great time for you to film again and take a video
and ask questions.
And
if something needs to be changed, that's why you're going through now. Is if something needs to be changed, they can usually change it. If they forgot a plug, if they forgot a pre-wire, for example, we wanted a dog door put in a very specific spot. We asked them ahead of time, and they said yes. And then we went back, and there were some wires in the way. We asked again, can we put a dog door here? And they said, oh, you're right. We'll move those wires for you. You want to do it before the drywall gets on, because once it's on, it's going to be a pain to try to go back and fix it if it needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So if they're missing, if they put the wrong bathroom type in there, they're going to need to fix that now.
Yeah. And so yeah, after you go and do your walkthrough, now you just wait some more.
That's where we're currently at.
That's where we're at. I had watched some videos beforehand about people saying that the waiting was the hardest part, and I'm like, oh man, it's only a few months, but man, it feels like forever that you're just waiting. I mean, it's nice to see all the progress and all the updates, but yeah, this waiting period, it's just it feels long. In reality, this whole process is only like 6 to 8 months for us, from the time when you decide to sign your contract till being able to close. But it just feels like a very long time waiting.
The hard part about the waiting is you don't know exactly how long it's going to take. So you're trying to coordinate your finances when you're going to be moving out of your current place. Like, for example, we lease already. When you're going to be moving out, if you're going to be breaking your lease, buying out of it, or paying it off, again, getting your finances in order, figuring out exactly how you're going to be paying for it. And you don't know what your closing costs are going to be until very close until actual closing. So it doesn't matter how much you follow up, they're going to give you an estimate of closing costs. But with closing costs being anywhere between $4,000 and $20,000, $30,000, whatever the number is, if the seller isn't paying for all of it, that can make a very big difference, especially if you're already paying your down payment.
Yeah.
It makes a very big difference. So you want to have everything in order.
I would say like the biggest advice that we could give you is to keep saving money. Like if you think you have enough saved, no, save some more. Like, and then save some more money.
And if you don't use it toward those costs, you can always use it toward your first bit of rent or upgrades. Again, if
buy new furniture. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
If you ended up saving more than you needed for your closing and everything, that's good. But there is going to be some hidden costs, some hidden things that you're not thinking of. For example, there was like a $400 inspector fee. We knew that there would be an inspection, but we didn't think we'd have to pay the fee until closing. No, you have to pay it ahead of time for the appraisal or whatever. So there's just some things that they're gonna kind of like sneak attack you on. Another thing that you may not be thinking about is landscaping. They will make you landscape.
Depending on your HOA.
Depending on your HOA, but most likely they are going to make you landscape your house pretty much immediately. Once you're moving in, the HOA, the builder is going to want, your design plans for how you're going to do your landscaping. Landscaping costs a lot of money that you're going to be coughing up right away. So you want to think about that too. So
are you going to be financing it? Or are you going to be paying out of pocket?
All right, so now we have an actual house update coming from you for you that we took today. So we will add that in right now. Hello, everybody. So we are here today at the house complex. They have done so much work in the last couple of weeks. Our house now has stucco up, the drywall is getting up, the houses all around us, some of them have paint and stuff, so it's really becoming a community now. They've even started putting the street signs up for the lanes, so it is looking great here. Yeah, so we're really excited about the progress being made. You can see they've got the stucco up for the most part. It is a crazy construction zone right now. They are clearly bringing in lots of supplies, lots of like flooring and details are coming in. So yeah, it's a crazy zone right now. So we're gonna get out of here, but yeah, great progress on the community. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Babe, for having this conversation with us and giving our thoughts on our build process so far. If you made it this far, thank you. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful. Yes, subscribe to our channel. We do videos. We'll be doing more videos like this, more about home building. So let me know what you guys want to know about the home building process if it hasn't been covered yet. And yeah, leave us some comments and questions below, and do not forget to hit that bell icon.
I did it.
You weren't supposed to say that.